would now like to welcome Enrico from Neuron Guard. Good luck to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for letting me present you Neuron Guard. I am Enrico Giuliani, CEO and founder of Neuron Guard, a medical device company that is developing a device for the emergency brain protection in cases of stroke, traumatic brain injury, or sudden cardiac death. Probably this story started when I was 13 years old and my grandmother suffered from a stroke. She was discharged from the hospital and we took care of her for 6 years. So I know very well what is the burden of a person with a high degree of disability at home. Consider that acute brain damage is basically the consequence of 3 pathologies: stroke, traumatic brain injury, and sudden cardiac death. It is the first cause of permanent disability and is the second cause of death over 50 years of age. It costs globally $330 billion every year, according to World Health Organization estimates. What is the real problem? Is that the brain is a very delicate organ, as it takes just 8 minutes for the brain to start to be irreversibly damaged. So we have to act soon, because the sooner we act, the more brain we can save. And there are strategies that are very effective. One of them is hypothermia, or better, target temperature control. Controlling the temperature of the brain and lowering it by few degrees can slow down the death process. So our value proposition is early on-site treatment. We want to start on the site of the event an effective treatment of hypothermia and continue it to the hospital. What we have developed? We have developed a cooling collar that cools the neck and the blood flowing through it to the brain and ultimately the brain. It is a portable device. It cools preferentially the head, but also the rest of the body, and as a temperature management system that allows the device to adapt to the needs of the patient and indications of the physician. Well, what we have obtained an Italian patent, and we've entered regional phases in several other markets of interest. We've completed a laboratory demonstration with animal models, sheep for the record, and we've published these results on the Neurocritical Care Journal. Of course, there are competitors, very good ones. There are hospital-based technologies that are very good at lowering and stabilizing the temperature of the patient, but they are not portable. And there are very promising portable technologies, but they lack the ability to stabilize and, let's say, adapt to the needs of the patient for a long time. Neuron Guard combines these 2 worlds into one device: portable and stable. Of course, we want to sell our product at a target price that is attractive to hospital, lower, and based on the volume of uses each hospital has. Of course, the market is very varied, is very wide, 2.5 billion by 2019, and we want to use a modular strategy to approach the different markets. Of course, you can imagine this is just a projection of how many patients and ambulances we can reach, as our first customers are hospitals, but also ambulances, firefighters, emergency services, but also the army. Imagine that head trauma is one of the most frequent injuries in a battlefield. Of course, these are projections of how could look like our customer base, with out-of-hospital cardiac arrest being the primary indication for this treatment. Our team is made up by myself. I am an anesthesiologist and an intensive care specialist. Mary, who's the economic heart and soul of the company with the master at Bocconi. We have a wide engineering team with our partner company, TWI, who's taking care of the industrialization of our device. We've also some very interesting high-profile collaboration for the clinical trials and the proof of concept. We've been lucky and we participated to many contexts. We had success internationally, for example, in the Intel Global Challenge, and we've been considered a very innovative company for the Italian environment. What we want to do in the future, we want to reach a first clinical pilot trial by the end of the year to be able to complete the regulatory phase for the next year and reach a proper clinical trial by the end of 2018. But what is our vision? We would like to see a Neuron Guard kit in every public place, because time is really the essence. Because remember that in this race to save the brain, every minute count. So time is brain, freeze it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. And now to the panel.
Baby.
Yeah, I have a commercial question. When you think about commercial adoption in the marketplace in the light of the competition, both products that are already in use and have been approved, but also products that are in development, how do you think about the need to demonstrate clinical superiority, so the clinical studies and how to fund these studies? Then secondly, how do you think about the price that you can charge for such a product? And then thirdly, how do you think about the reimbursement and reimbursement code, especially in the United States?
Okay, that is a very articulate question. I will try to answer it the best I can. Of course, these aspects are all connected to each other. Our main demonstration is to show the public, to show the clinical community that our device is an effective brain cooler and arguably a total body cooler, an effective total body cooler. Under this aspect, we don't want to show superiority in the sense of cooling capacity to other devices, but superiority in the sense of ease of use and ease of adoption, because we are not total body devices, we are not invasive devices, we are a smaller device that makes the work of the nurses and of the healthcare professional staff around the patient easier. Of course, our technology enables us to be cheaper than our competitors, especially total body ones and invasive ones. So this is another point in favor of the adoption, because for the hospital it is a cheaper solution. Of course, there has to be a certain interaction between the hospital system and the ambulance service, because one of the key features of our device is that it can be applied on the ambulance and continues its effectiveness throughout the 36 hours of hypothermia that a patient has to undergo to have significant benefits from hypothermia or target temperature management. So I think that this may become an interesting selling point, because it actually saves money also to the ambulance service.
Have you done any market research to validate what you just were outlining? Because my view certainly would be somewhat different. I think especially in the acute setting, you are impacted on external factors that you may not be able to control, but also I think you are dependent on a clear-cut efficacy, and in the light of other devices that have gone through the same process and were not able to get reimbursement or get adopted in the marketplace, I do think you probably have to show superiority.
I agree that we have to show superiority in the sense that, not, as I said, as cooling capacity, but in the ability to give the patient the advantage that target temperature management has shown it can give to the patient, also in the acute setting.
I'd like to, in the last 30 seconds, ask you the tough question. You say I have to do intervention in the first 8 minutes, but you say your targeted market is going to be ICU in clinics. I don't have 8 minutes to run to the CHUV ICU. So are you really going to be the superior in mass distribution, 3 minutes from where I'm sitting if he hits me on the head, okay? And try to answer in 30 seconds because I'm over time.
Of course, we want to become the AED for the brain. So in every public place like this one, there might be one in a, let's say, box outside this hall. So in this way, you can intervene in less than 8 minutes.
Okay, don't hit me on the brain.
No, don't. I'm going to police that. Enrico, thank you very much. Congratulations on a great pitch. Thank you very much to our jury.